Welcome everyone to another episode of the world's greatest news and reviews.
Giving you opinions about nerd stuff is our superpower.
I'm Captain Mao.
I'm Dennis McCoy.
Dennis, what's the middle name?
I can't remember. Keller? Something like that. I can't remember.
He's a robot from Bill and Ted Face the Music, which makes perfect sense because this is our official review for Bill and Ted Face the Music. So, Bill and Ted Face the Music is the third part of the Bill and Ted trilogy. It was supposed to be released in theaters, but because of the COVIDs, it went straight to VOD. We have watched it. Young Captain Mao is a gigantic fan of Bill and Ted. He even loved Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. This taught him a very valuable lesson. Be excellent to each other. So I was very, very excited for this movie. We'll keep the first part of this review spoiler-free. We'll let you know before we spoil stuff, if we even do at all. But super excited for this. I followed and paid a lot of close attention to the production of this. Keanu Reeves was on board with this. So finally got to watch the movie. What did I think? It was just kind of okay. Weapon 2, what did you think?
Well, I didn't have super high expectations. Mm-hmm. It was about what I expected. There's things that reaffirm to me. I've said in many of our other things that I think that Keanu Reeves is a very wooden. He's not that great an actor. He's in good things. He does some things really well, and I'm not going to say it's his acting that make it good. Just whatever, he's in good things, and he's been in good movies and been all right. But this was another example of just showing, like, geez, he is not always that great an actor. Yeah, he doesn't sell things. Yeah,
if we're being totally honest, we didn't need this movie. It's probably not very good. I thought it was okay. Like the first 5 minutes I was into it, and then I realized the first 5 minutes were just the recap of the previous two movies. Yeah. And it was showing old footage, and I was 100% on board. And then this movie got going, and I was just like, well, okay. So, like, the whole point of the movies, if you care, you know, in the first movie, they were supposed to write the song that, like, united the world and brought forth this utopia society and all that. Mm-hmm. And so they did get super famous after the second movie, but then, as most big super famous rock bands do, they fall off.
But they never wrote the song.
Never write the song, yeah. And now they're just performing in, like, local taverns and bars.
There's trouble.
They're not the super big performers they used to be. And now it's not just about the future, it's about all time and the universe.
Time and yes, everything.
And the writer watched Infinity War and Endgame because he used the word quantum a lot. He talks about the quantum realm, and he's like, "Oh, that sounds good. Let's just put that in front of stuff." And sure,
this probably had more time travel than any of the.
It did. They time traveled a lot. I'll give it that.
And there was not just them. There's a lot of people doing a lot of time traveling.
Let's try it. So the point is that they failed in living up to their legacy. All of reality is going to be undone unless they write the song in, you know, whatever time frame they need to do it. It's like 70 minutes. And so now they're on a quest to figure out how to write the song. Now, the problem is where this movie gets kind of convoluted is there's kind of like 3 storylines going on all at once.
Yes. And
theirs is the least interesting. The most interesting is they have 2 daughters, and I want to say the actresses playing their daughters are much better than they are.
They're good.
Especially the girl playing Ted's daughter just emulated his mannerisms so well. It was almost like, the point is, like, it was so well, it was believable that it's his daughter, but she was doing it so well, it's almost like she was doing a parody of him. Like she was just doing a bit at a party.
But better.
But the problem is it was like so funny, like you could tell that's what she was doing. So like it was good, but it was also like almost making fun of the movie. And the gal playing Bill's daughter was equally as good. But the more interesting are we going to go into spoilers? Let's just spoil the movie real quick.
Yeah, let's just do spoilers.
All right, fuck it.
Attention, we're going into spoilers. Everybody.
The movie's okay. If you like Bill and Ted 1 and 2, sure, watch it. A little bit of nostalgia, you'll appreciate the movie. If you don't know what Bill and Ted is, the premise is very ridiculous. So if you come into this cold, this is going to be the dumbest thing you've ever seen. Right. So don't really watch it. Do you need to watch it? No. Do you need to pay $20 for it? No. I would wait till it's $4.99 on rental because I paid $20. We paid $20 to rent it. Not worth it. It's not that good. I was quite disappointed with it. It's not bad. It's just it's a Bill and Ted movie. Mm-hmm. So without the nostalgia, which turns out makes that movie, everything. Okay, spoiler alert. So they have to go write this song, and I don't even know what the fuck they were doing. So their plan was to travel into the future to find their future selves
to get the
song.
So they don't have to write it, because that's hard.
And spoilers, they never find it because they never actually write it, but they visit various future versions of themselves. None of it's actually kind of funny. None of it's really engaging. Like the prison thing's kind of funny, but they showed that in the trailer.
Right.
So they're literally, whenever it's them on camera, you kind of don't care. And you're right.
Their old, really old people, old selves were kind of interesting because the makeup.
That's just because the makeup looked so good. It wasn't because they were doing anything good.
Old-looking people I've ever seen in a film.
But it just reminded me of Johnny Knoxville and Jackass when they were doing the old lady bit. Like
and I thought the muscled up
it looked good. It looked fine.
It was funny just because they were so overly muscled.
Yeah, but it was whatever. But you're right, Keanu Reeves. The funny thing is, like, you watch Bill and Ted, the old movies, and him doing the dumb surfer bit at 20 is funny. At 40 is kind of weird.
Yeah.
And it just didn't land. And it felt, like, anytime they would say some of the famous catchphrases or do the poses, and you look at them and you could just see, like, all the road miles on their faces. Like, you're just like, this isn't okay. It's not fair.
And for me, put Keanu Reeves in a movie where he just delivers just short, intense lines like this, and he's fine. He will do that.
That's why
put
John
him in
Wick
a thing
works.
where he's got to emote and sell himself being delivering these lines. He's not good at.
Well, and that's why John Wick works, because he's very one note, and the one mode is intense, which he can do.
Right.
This is the exact opposite of that, and it works at times, but most of it just feels awkward now. Anyway, let's get to their daughters. Their daughters are the way more interesting part of this movie. They realize
the daughters and the robot were my favorite characters in this movie.
They realize their dads aren't gonna get the job done,
right?
So they start traveling back in time. They relive the plot of the first fucking movie. They go back in time and start getting all these historical figures, but they're historical musicians, like some rapper I've never heard of. They get they get Mozart. They get who else do they get?
Well, Jimi Hendrix. They get
the trumpet player,
Louis Armstrong. They get a caveman drummer from
cavewoman drummer.
Cavewoman was a drummer.
Yeah.
When there were cave people, it's hard to tell, but you're right. It was a cavewoman.
So they go
and a flutist from ancient Japan, maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
So they go back in time and get historical figures to become the awesome band to play with their parents, so that way their fathers can come up with the song. So they get the band together, and so their whole thing was funny and all that, and it was entertaining. There's also a robot that's sent back to kill Bill and Ted, because the future people believe that instead of Bill and Ted creating the song, maybe it's them dying that'll do it. And the robot, little by little, gains personality, and he's kind of funny. He's okay. Was it Dennis? Is the robot?
Dennis McCoy.
Yeah. Death is back. Death, who was a great part of Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, he's back. Not as good though. He's fine. Whatever. He's there. Anyway, so the moral of the story is the time's merging together and people are like jumping back and forth and like, historical, all shit's getting destroyed. And they realize that it's not them who makes the song, it's their daughters. And so they have this big, amazing concert, and their daughters with the historical figures start playing. But everybody in the universe, in the world, whatever, starts playing also. And they play this epic song, and somehow that stops reality from unraveling, and yay?
Yeah, they have to deliver instruments to every single person in every single point in time.
Ever. And they do this really quickly.
Because they push an infinity button in the phone booth.
All right, kids, here's the deal. If you break down any movie, it's not going to make sense. So you really shouldn't try to do that.
Especially this one.
So you can't try to But then they have the one rapper who I don't know, who is actually breaking down the science of the movie. Who? Manny Petty? Kim Petty?
Kid Cudi.
Kid Cudi. He's a guy, apparently. No idea who this person is. Kid Cudi, he's a rapper and a part-time astrophysicist because he understands the math, folks. He breaks down the science in this movie.
His contribution to the song was, everyone make some noise.
That's what he did.
That's it. That's all he does.
I count.
It's a good thing they brought him brought him along.
I was disappointed with this movie. I wanted to like this a lot more than I did. Because if we're being honest, I didn't like it at all. So I wanted to like this and I didn't. But I don't know why I'm mad at it because it was totally a Bill and Ted movie. It's exactly what a Bill and Ted movie. I think the issue is, and I've spoken about this in terms of comedies before. I feel like comedic sensibilities and things like that change over time. So I feel like this is a recurring problem when you have a comedy movie that comes out that's a hit and then a sequel doesn't happen for like 10 years. How often is that sequel even halfway as good?
Right.
Almost never. And so this isn't even just 10 years. This is like 25 years later. And so things that were funny and worked 25 years ago comedically just don't work now. And because they didn't do anything different. It was the exact same type of movie. So I can't get mad at it. It's not like it was different and not what I wanted it to be. It was literally what I wanted a Bill and Ted movie to be. It just turns out that's not that good.
Yeah.
So
I mean, and part of that is you see something when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And then when you're an adult, you don't even think the same things are funny anymore either. And so there's a whole lot of things. There's the time frame about how comedy changes over time. And then there's how just people maturing and becoming different people. It's not as funny as you thought it was hysterical when you were a kid.
And it's like, so you can still watch that thing that you liked as a kid, but nostalgia is a motherfucker. So like that'll make you still like it. But if you get that same thing now, it's not the same. Like I'll use Power Rangers as an analogy. I love Power Rangers. I recognize that's a terrible fucking show and movie. Like if I watch it now, I love it because I loved it back then. If you just gave that to me now, I'd be like, well, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. So that's kind of what this was. It was really, really dumb. It was they were the least interesting characters in their movie. Mm-hmm. I guess you could have fun with it. I mean, if I had never seen the other ones and I were a small child and I watched this, sure, it'd probably be funny. But overall, I was disappointed. I wasn't expecting the world, but I was still disappointed. So don't pay $20 for it. That's what I have to say. Wait till this shit's $4.99. That's my recommendation. What do you think? Should people pay $20 for it?
No, you should wait for it to be $4.99 or free on a streaming service.
Preferably free.
Yeah.
Like don't pay money for it. It's not that good. But whatever. I got Bill and Ted 3.
And if you don't know anything about Bill and Ted and you've never seen it, and you don't even understand what we're talking about, don't even watch it.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because you're not going to enjoy it.
Watch the first Bill and Ted. You might find that funny.
Yeah, maybe.
So, probably not, though.
I don't know.
I feel like you need to have watched it back then. But yeah, that's what we thought of Bill and Ted. Face the Music. So, whatever.
I think maybe Keanu sold his lines better back then.
That's what I'm saying. I don't know I don't know if it's just that character is believable being 20 and not 50. Or what it was, but something about even because when they showed the clips, maybe it was better.
Maybe he cared more back then. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe he's just like, really? I'm doing this again? What are we doing, people? Anyway, don't watch this movie. Closing thoughts?
No, it's what it was. It was definitely a Bill and Ted movie.
It was definitely a Bill. It can't confirm it was a Bill and Ted movie. Anyway, thank you for joining us on this episode of the World's Greatest News and Reviews. Even that was stupid. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Peace.